Hey everybody, thanks for tuning back into my channel. Today you are going to be meeting Stefanie Pollack, real estate agent here at Keller Williams, where we talk about having a strong mindset. Especially during our pandemic time, Stefanie and I are recapping what it was like to reinvent herself during a pandemic, what her business like was before, after, and even during, and what things did she do to really make a shift in her business to see the growth that she did. So make sure you guys stick around to the end because she's got some great tips for you. You know, we talk about focus and repurposing her drive and her vision of where she was going because, you know, at the beginning of the pandemic to where, and then it hit, man, it was definitely a whirlwind experience. If you were in real estate at this time, you definitely know what it was like. And it's just a great story. I can't wait for you guys to share it, so stay tuned. All right, guys, today I'm with Stefanie Pollack, agent here at Keller Williams in Studio City. Thanks for being with me today, Steph.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to share.
I love it. I love it. Steph, real quick, how long you been in real estate?
I've had my license for quite a while. I would say over 10 years. I've only actively been using my license for about 7, going on 8 with Keller Williams.
Love it. Good. You know, today's topic that we're going to be talking about is having a strong mindset. And, you know, you and I, we coach and mentor together for the last, 3 or 4 years. So, you know, we've got a great history together. But I think now more than ever with this pandemic that we just went through, in fact, today, March 11th, I think is going to be a year since they kind of shut us down. So no better time than today to kind of recap what's all happened in the last year. But, you know, having a strong mindset and how it kind of pushed you through to create and reinvent yourself as a businesswoman in real estate, right?
Absolutely. It's been quite a year. And when I look back at, you know, you're mentioning March of 2020, I'm actually getting emotional just thinking about the transformation that I had to do.
Right, exactly. Because, you know, when COVID hit, you know, what was your pipeline like March 11th, 2020?
Well, I had just closed one deal in January, which was actually just a rollover. And so I didn't really have much going on. I mean, I had a somewhat of a pipeline of people that I thought were going to be buying and selling. But once COVID hit, everything just kind of dissipated. And it was a point in my career where I just thought maybe it's time to get out of the business. I just didn't know how I was going to bring in any money, any food on the table. I mean, everything was just shut down.
I kind of remember in the beginning, it was like, Tom, I got one deal going on and it's March. Like, oh my God, what's going on? And then the pandemic hit and it was like cranked it up a level of stress for you, me, and everybody else. Kind of like, you know, we got punched in the face by COVID, I would say, you know?
Yeah, it was a very anxious time, a lot of confusion, especially with myself being a mom of a child who needed to be on Zoom classes and can't navigate that herself. She was only around 5 years old at that time. And, you know, I had done my vision board for 2020 and it had wonderful things in there, like getting an assistant, building my team and hitting these goal numbers. And I just saw it wipe away right before my eyes. And I kind of just, it was laughing at me almost.
Yeah. So what was your view like of the market when COVID hit, you know, and doing business? We couldn't show property, you know, like what was that feeling?
It was a feeling of being at a loss, just having no control over what was happening, a state of confusion through just so much uncertainty, knowing even how long this was going to be going on for. I know for myself as you know, being a mom of a young child, switching gears, we're now having our children at home. So let alone working from home or not even knowing how to progress with work and what to do and what was even going to work with the regulations and how that was going to change. But now I was a full-time, school teacher at that point and having to learn that to navigate. So I really just saw my whole business model completely just change. I mean, I didn't even know I was going to even make a phone call. I didn't know how I was going to touch my community. Most of my business at the time was community in the sense of going to birthday parties or doing the open houses. And that was, meeting someone at the supermarket. I mean, I'm a very social person. Yeah. So a lot of my business came from those social aspects, which now I had none. Yeah. There was no outlet for that.
I remember us talking about we kind of had to look at a point on the horizon and kind of say, we're going to get there. Like we had to repurpose our focus, and not necessarily like what's in front of us, but where we're going. And I remember that was kind of your and I's conversation all the time. And, the drunk monkey sort of to kind of get on our shoulders a little bit, like Bold would say, how did that, that was definitely an emotional time for you. Yeah.
It was a very emotional time. I'm the type of person that if I spend too much time to think about something, I'll get extremely overwhelmed. And, that's when I would pick up the phone, I would text you and thankfully you're always available for me. So I thank you, Tom, so much for that. Could not have gone through 2020 without your mentorship and just being there for me, racking my brain on what to do.
Yeah.
It was a scary time.
In getting into mindset, what were some of the things that you were doing to keep that mindset strong? Because like you said, you could go crazy with all the unknowns that was going on. Was it good sleep? Was it working out? Anything?
I know exactly what it was. I forced myself to wake up early, and I took I think it was like at the time a 6:30 or 8 o'clock, I can't remember, yoga class in the morning. And so everything was on Zoom, and even those businesses were struggling, and they were offering things for free to see how things were going. And seeing that community there every morning and having a purpose to wake up and stretching and breathing and getting oxygen, and it just set the tone for me. And what a great parallel for you, because I know that you do that as well with your own training. It was a great mind shift of looking at the positive, and I started to see all the silver linings. I used to not really have time for the workout, and now I didn't have to rush my child to school. So now I got to fit that in. The first month or so, I gained a lot of weight with my husband, just eating at home or going to the market for shopping for a week or two at a time and whipping up amazing recipes. And I just started feeling, less and less productive in every aspect. So getting up in the morning, exercising, starting eating healthier, got the shift going. I also fueled my mind with positive books. Yeah. One of the books was called Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, where you think he's hit his max wall and he just keeps going and he powered through, and so many points of challenges, and even how he grew up as a child. I mean, I didn't even have to go through all that. And all I'm dealing is how am I going to get my food on the table? I could do this. I can do it. And so shifting on getting to the community was my catch-all be-all for 2020.
I wanted to lead towards.
Yeah. I mean, I was looking into myself on what would make me feel good. And then I was like, you know what? This made me feel good. I'm sure I'm not alone. and I wanted to share that with other people. And so I'm getting emotional thinking about it. So I just created, more of a social media connection with the community and letting them know, hey, I'm a mom here in Studio City, and this is what I'm doing to help, myself. Is anyone interested in doing this? And if you are, I'll create an event. And so I started doing a lot of events, and I started meeting people. And actually, one of my buyers that I'm working with is someone that knows me from that event.
I think when I saw when we were talking and this big aha came with you of reaching back to the community and giving back to our local markets and our local shops and our local areas of helping direct business to them. I think, man, you just blew up, and kind of that law of reciprocity of, hey, I'm doing them and now they're doing back for me, because you really got active of supporting the local restaurants and doing little takeaways about them and giveaways to send business to them as well, right?
Yes. So I actually started off with just decluttering my house, and it spun into this whole tagline of, I can make, you might not be able to move, or you might not have any room, but I can make your home feel bigger. So, so just decluttering their house, and people had time on their hands, and they were needing to make their dining room into an office and another bedroom or something else into the school for their children. So it just became this natural progression of people going through it and not having anywhere to put, and there was no donation centers open.
Right.
So I was like, okay, what can I do? What can I do to make this a benefit for the community, including myself? And so my first thing the first thing I did was the food drive for the families that were suffering and didn't have money to put food on their table. That went really well. The second one was a clothing drive for the homeless, or for people to try and find work. People were starting to live in their cars. I mean, this is real serious things. And when you're a realtor, you are a part of the community. And so it was just an opportunity for me to create ways to give back. Right. The third thing was, one of them, I got phone calls that, oh, I've got all these children clothes and this and that. I'm like, well, this place doesn't take it. Let me find a place that will take your children donations. So I teamed up with another organization, and the drop off was at my home. And it was from side to side of my gate was full of donations for clothing and toys and strollers. And people were thanking me just to have somewhere to put it. Yeah. I was, it was a feel good moment. And I was like, what else can I do to help? That's when you mentioned I was doing spotlighting the businesses, shopping small, shop local for the holidays. And then with Valentine's, just making sure that, what a great opportunity. If you're not going to the restaurants to dine out, you can always order in. And I got to do the giveaway. So it's a wonderful, I have intention and purpose with what I'm doing. And it's just a feel good way of doing the business.
And as we pan out and take a bird's eye view of that, I mean, had your mindset not have shifted, had you not of obviously, had some coaching and mentoring to bounce and kind of point to that horizon and retool that mindset and make it strong through the yoga and all the things you did, all these amazing things would have never have happened. I mean, you could have easily become a victim, in the mindset game. We talk about there's victim, there's pessimist, optimist, and then what I like to call the competitor, where anything that comes, it's a challenge for you. And you really moved along that scale and changed people's lives in the so. And that's why I wanted to bring you on, because it's such an amazing story, Steph, of where we were last year to where you are now, and you took COVID lemons and you made COVID lemonade out of it. And I think that's the amazing part about your story, and is what I hope everybody kind of takes away from that as well. Let's talk about your business. How did your business jump? I mean, where were you, if you don't mind saying, production wise, of where you were, and maybe in million, you know, I had 1 million and then I'm at 10. Where are you?
So in the beginning of that year, I had closed a deal that was over $1 million, and I'm really proud to say that I closed at just under $20 million.
Just under $20 million. Wow, that's amazing. And again, mindset, right?
Mindset, being positive, seeing the silver linings, presenting that to the community, my past clients, my sphere. They saw that. I would get messages all the time, and people just really loving and appreciating the positivity that I brought.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very proud of telling you that as of today, the goals that I've set for 2020, we're just entering into the second quarter of 21. I have reached my goals. And
Wow.
it took longer, it took determination, and I am just extremely proud to say that when you have your mindset right, you can accomplish anything.
Because you have an administrative assistant now, your social media is really on point. You know, I remember 3 or 4 years ago when you wanted to establish yourself in the Studio City community, and you were looking at all these big agents that were out there, and you're like, but I've only sold one. And now look at you. I mean, these other agents that are in this marketplace definitely are looking at you, and you did it organically. You know, you didn't flood the neighborhood with message pads or little trinkets like everybody else did, or you didn't buy any bus benches like a lot of agents did. You did this so organically, and it really says a lot about what you can do when you have a strong mindset, when you're open to be creative. And I mean, you know, like I said, I've been lucky enough to watch your journey of growth through the whole thing, and sitting back here as a coach and mentor, it's just like, man, Steph, you hit it. You're here, you know, from that administrative assistant that I met 5 years ago, to, oh my God, I'm leaving and getting out on my own, to rocking it, girl. So congratulations to you.
And thank you for the support. I mean, having someone that I could be, you know, look up to and have as a mentor and amazing accountability. I don't know. I don't think I would still be in the business if it wasn't for you.
Thank you.
I know that I even just seeing your growth with your family, and growing your team and sharing your goals and seeing your goals come to fruition. It's definitely inspiring. And I love you talking.
You did the work though, Steph. So you did the work. You know, I think we all play off each other. You know, I see you and I'm like, oh my God, Steph's hitting it. I can hit it too, and stuff like that. And that energy is contagious. I think that's one of the great things about our office, is that everybody wants everybody to hit home runs. And when you're in an environment like that and you've got support staff that can lead that, I think, you know, it makes it a lot easier to get up that scale. All right. So I know we've been on a long time. I know you got to get back to work. Any last thoughts that you want to share with maybe some agents that are struggling with that mindset, or anything? Maybe, you know, again, these are not about hiring Tom as a coach here. These are about, for me, giving back to the community of real estate that's been so blessed for me. So anything that you would want to share to an agent that's coming up or that might be hitting a block wall, like what would you say to them today?
I would say mindset is more important than you can ever imagine. I'm a big believer in the vision board, or another name for it is the action board.
Okay.
So have all of your wishes and your dreams, your goals, put it on paper somewhere that you can see it, and have someone that will hold you accountable to make sure that you are reaching your goals to attain them.
I love it.
Stephanie, thank you very much. It's been awesome to spend time with you again. And I hope, and I know all our viewers are going to get a lot out of this and stuff like that. So if there's anybody that may want to reach out to you for some advice and stuff like that, you want to shout out an email or a website address or anything like that?
Yeah, sure. My website is stephaniepollack.com, and it's spelled STEF like Frank, ANIE POLLACK.
Love it. All right, Steph, be well.
Hey, all right, so that was my interview with Stefanie Pollack today. What an amazing story. What an amazing journey she had in her life during the pandemic. I hope you guys got some great tips from her on that, and make it a great day, guys. All right, see you then. Bye.